What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. Before I get started on the video, just want to let everybody know I will be live tonight for my weekly live stream the night before the game, so it should be a lot of fun. Looking to try to get a couple of different New York Giants YouTubers on tonight and definitely take some of your video calls as we talk about the big upcoming matchup between the New York Giants and the Washington football team, something that you could definitely view as a must-win game. And if it's not a must-win game, it's damn near close. New York Giants seem to start 0-2 every single year. Statistical evidence shows if you start 0-2, you have a 12% chance of making the playoffs. So it's as close to a must-win game as one could get early on in the season. And the same could be said for the Washington football team. So a lot on the line. Week number 2 in a high-pressured season for the New York Giants, a season in which New York Giants fans, and I'm sure John Mara and the New York Giants organization, expected progress when you went out there and spent the money that you did. And the progress starts with Daniel Jones. And that's what this video is going to be about. And my opinion and I guess message about Daniel Jones and the quarterback position. Listen, I'll be the first to say I don't know what right now we've got at the quarterback position. You have some fans that look for every excuse in the book to try to defend Daniel Jones, which is understandable. He's the quarterback of the football team. You want him to be successful. And you have some fans that don't want to give him any chance whatsoever this year, and they think that they're already completely done with him. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm in a wait-and-see approach. I say to myself, okay, last year, yes, he absolutely had no chance. We didn't have the weapons necessary to succeed. He was in a new scheme. He didn't have Saquon Barkley. So I was on board and understood the New York Giants' philosophy of bringing Daniel Jones back, even though the New York Giants' offense last year was pitiful. It was 31st in the league. And I'll be the first to say things in the NFL are not always equal. Just like in life, not everybody is dealt an equal hand, and that's unfortunate. But that's the world that we live in, and it's a business. And if a quarterback cannot show progression by the end of year 3, when you went out there and got him all those weapons, well, yes, it's time to strongly consider moving on. Even though Eli Manning may have had a much better offensive line, which he did to start his career, and even if Eli Manning had superior weapons, which up until this point he had, obviously having Amani Toomer and having Plaxico Burress, having Tiki Barber, there's no denying it. This year we thought that we got Daniel Jones the weapons necessary to be able to at least somewhat evaluate him as a quarterback. And we don't need to see a finished product, but we need to see progress. But in order for us to see progress as a fan base and an organization, you have to give Daniel Jones the opportunity to fail. And I'm not trying to compare Eli Manning and Daniel Jones. I understand it's a different point in history in the NFL. I understand that both were not dealt the same hand. But at the end of the day, that is what the New York Giants gave to Eli Manning. They gave him the opportunity to fail. And he did a lot of time early on throughout his NFL career. We all remember as New York Giants fans the 5-interception game against the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, in that same year, Eli Manning went on to win a Super Bowl. We all remember people were ready to move on from Eli Manning, and rightfully so. He made a lot of boneheaded decisions as a quarterback, but he picked himself up, and he also made plays, and he won football games. And if you don't give Daniel Jones the opportunity to go out there and win football games, well, you're already going to fail him. And if you drafted this kid 6th overall, and you invested the amount of money that you did at the wide receiver position with Kenny Golladay and the draft capital with Andrew Thomas and Kadarius Toney, to me, that suggests you believe in him. And if you believe in him, you got to give him the chance to go out there and either win or lose football games. Say what you want about Eli Manning. He won football games early on in his career when we gave him the opportunity to go out there and sling it. And yes, like I said, not everything in the NFL is equal. The second half of Eli Manning's career, we completely failed him. We all know that. We saw what he could be when he had a cast. Daniel Jones has not had that cast. But it's the way the NFL works, and we cannot go into year 4 of Daniel Jones without having some kind of more confidence than we do going into this year at the quarterback position. And all you have to do is look at the numbers. Yes, Eli Manning made mistakes. Yes, Eli Manning had more help. He was 4th in the NFL in touchdown passes in his 2nd year. In his 3rd year, you got it. He was 4th. And look at the names that he's with. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Carson Palmer. We need to find out if Daniel Jones can do that this year. And if you keep pigeonholing him and not giving him an opportunity to decide the game, well, you're not going to get your answer. And all you have to do is look back at last week, and I recognize, and I even said that the New York Giants are going to have to rely on the defense, and they're going to have to rely on the ground game. And I've even come out and said that I don't expect this New York Giants offense to be clicking on all cylinders until week 3, and I'm going to continue to say that. But at the end of the day, Teddy Bridgewater was given an opportunity to win the game, and Daniel Jones was not. And to me, that suggests that Joe Judge and Jason Garrett don't have the confidence in Daniel Jones to make the plays when they need to be made. And yes, the offensive line is certainly a question mark, but you could say the same thing about the Denver Broncos. And the Denver Broncos defense was cooking all game, and they let the offense go out there and decide that football game. When we were backed up on our own 4-yard line, you have to show confidence in Daniel Jones to be able to pick up that first down. And if you can't do that, well, then he shouldn't be out there as the quarterback, and you shouldn't have drafted him 6th overall. As a Giants fan this year, I would much rather see Daniel Jones throw 3 or 4 picks and at least going out there and trying to win the football game. And that is what I expect this week and going forward. When there's an opportunity for Daniel Jones to win the football game, you have to give him that opportunity. We cannot continue to have check down pass after check down pass after check down pass and expect to win football games that way. Yes, are there going to be times where it can happen? Sure. We saw it last year when I understood it a lot more, when we had the team that was better suited on defense, and that was really our only opportunity to win games because of all the factors I expressed earlier in this video. But when you go out there and you spend the money that you do on Kenny Golladay, when you draft a running back 2nd overall, who I understand right now is not completely back to himself, but I expect him to get further and further along the process as the season progresses, you have got to give Daniel Jones more of an opportunity in this offense to succeed or fail. We have to see him sling the rock. We have to see him throw the football down the field, and that should only help open up the running game. I don't know if the New York Giants are going to win tomorrow night, and I don't know if Daniel Jones is going to be a career backup or a career franchise quarterback, but I'm going to tell you one thing I know for sure. If you don't give him the chance to fail, that is exactly what he's going to be. He will be a career backup if you don't show confidence in this quarterback. There's no denying it. To win in the NFL, you have to put points on the board. The New York Giants, Eli Manning's 2nd season in the league, were 3rd in the NFL in offense. This offense has not come close to doing that. And in the end, it may not be that Daniel Jones was the primary reason why the offense failed. It may be that the surrounding parts were due to the fact that he didn't have the supporting cast that Eli Manning had at the beginning of his career. But like I said, the NFL is not a fair world, and Daniel Jones has to find a way to overcome that and put enough points on the board for his team to win football games. At the end of the day, his career record is 8-19, and he is not the full reason for that. He may not even be the main reason for that. As a fan, I don't care. You can't keep trotting out a quarterback with the amount of money that quarterbacks make in today's NFL on second contracts and continue to lose football games. We have to give this guy an opportunity to win or lose football games. That is the quarterback's job to do that. He is the most important player on a football team for a reason. He is the highest paid football player on a team for a reason. Give Daniel Jones the opportunity starting tomorrow to start deciding football games for the New York Giants. That is what I ask of the New York Giants, and that is what I ask of Daniel Jones. That is what I expected this year when the year began. I need to find out what Daniel Jones is as a quarterback. And if you're not giving Daniel Jones the opportunity to throw the ball on the 4-yard line and try to make plays before the half and give his team the lead going into halftime, you're not giving him that opportunity. I need Garrett, and more importantly, I need Joe Judge to open up this offense and give Jones the opportunity to decide if we beat the Washington football team. Can't wait to see how the rest of the year plays out. It's a big game tomorrow night. I hope I get to see some of you guys later today on the channel. As always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.